In this video we will see what is caching and how we use in the system design. So a caching is the using a temporary storage area that store the results and is the volatile memory. Okay, so whenever we are making a request to the web server checks for that particular data in the database. But if like for every request we are going to the database, it will consume a lot of time. So what we do, we place a cache between the web server and the database. That will work as a temporary storage area. So whenever we make a request, server check in the cache if the data is already there. If the data is already there, it will return the data from the cache. If the data is not there, it will go to the database, retrieve the data from there, store it in the cache, and then return to the user. Why we store it in the cache? If the second time user make the same request, it won't go to the database again. It will fetch from the cache. Okay, so considerations for using cache: decide when to use cache. Expiration policy, yeah, it is good practice to implement an expiration policy on the cache, so that how much time after your cache would be expired, then all of the data in that would be expired. We use this feature in the authorization or like keeping track of the session. Consistency, migration failure, like cache stops the single point of failure. So we have to use the multiple cache so that we can avoid the single point of failure problem. And evacuation policy, once the cache is full, okay, so we have to add another cache or we have to clear the cache, otherwise the cache will cause the problems and some requests might get dropped. So that's why I use the least recently used algorithm. So the requests that are overwhelmed or like extra or that are not used in a long time will be get dropped from the cache, and we use the latest one and then store that in the cache.